River Broadcasting Corporation has a responsibility as a media manager to let you in on everything happening in Cross River State on the landscape, both political and the private sector. We are here for us to propagate the policy trust of government and also to let you in on the real information happening in our landscape. This program is been brought to you from the stable of CRBC TV, and it's called Straight Talk. Straight Talk is going to illustrate everything happening in the Cross River State landscape. We bring to you the hardcore truth on all issues, no matter whose ox is God. All right, so we are going to be, dissecting different situations on our landscape, moving into 2027, mostly political, and of course, anything that is worth our time, we'll bring it here to dissect it and bring all sorts of personalities to talk to us about their perceptions. All right, so today we are going to be looking at the political happening so far on the landscape of Cross River State, from the stakeholders meeting, the enlarged stakeholders meeting of the All Progressive Congress, to the vote of confidence that have been passed on different political leaders, and of course the endorsement by some senatorial district of the Senator Prince Basiede to lead administration in Cross River State. So I have here with me very, will I say controversial? Let me not use the word controversial, analytical, maybe analytical. I have here with me McFarlane Eja, who is a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you. And
then, of course, we also have here Honorable Castro Adoga Ezama. Is also a political analyst. You're welcome to the program.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so now we are here to talk Cross River. You know, you say charity begins at home. I can't wait to hear your own perceptions on all the activities that have been happening in Cross River State. Are we actually on track? Some people said that all this endorsement is an indication of fear. Other people are saying that, okay, it's good to start early because the battle ahead is not going to be easy and all of that. But I want to hear your own perceptions on what you think about all of this analysis, all of these happenings. Are these politicians being honest? Are they just whining each other? Or what is going on actually? Let me start with McFarlane. You are always talking from a neutral standpoint. I don't know whether you're a politician or a technocrat. I don't know specifically, but I know you're an analyst. So what do you think about the endorsements by the All Progressive Congress of the Senator Prince Basiede to lead administration? Of course, snowballing into all that things that have happened in the landscape so far.
Well, when we are talking about endorsement, it's an indication of people's feeling, perception, and agreement with certain issues. So endorsement, you need to look at the caliber and category of people who are endorsing. Endorsement, you need to look at the domain and territory where it's coming from. Endorsement, you need to look at holistically against the background of what it is. So we know that 2027 is up, and it hurts me because I keep saying that we are not allowing the elected people give us the dividends of representation within the 4 years span of time. Okay. 29th of May is going to be 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
And now we've not even gotten up to the middle of the first tenure, and we are juggling for a second tenure. That's how the political dynamics has been. And I'm a strong proponent of 1 term, 6 years. So that would have had it, and you know that you have deliverable. If any person is talking about replacement or succession, it will be on the 5th year and would have had it. Okay. So be that as it may, right now the gale of endorsement that we're seeing and moving around, it's coming from the political parties within the same constituency. So as it is, it will be difficult to clearly say this endorsement versus where it's coming from, where it is. So there will be no basis for comparison. It's coming from the political party, the APC itself, endorsing their candidate. And now the candidate is not a candidate of a candidate in terms of 2027, but for now he's a sitting governor, so he's our governor. If we want to weigh the endorsement based on what is being done, like I keep saying, I will always like to put the governor up there. He has a vision. In terms of his vision and localizing it with fitting the people, yes, his vision is okay, but operationalization, actualizing it is where I've had a problem. Okay. And I say it without fear of contradiction. I am not satisfied the way the executive cabinet around him, which is supposed to drive the vision, has been moving. And clearly, by parameters of development, it will be difficult.
You are not comfortable how it's been moving. What specifically are you not comfortable with?
That's exactly what I'm telling you. The governor has a vision. He has brought in people to help him move the vision. We are comfortable with the vision. That's why we voted him. Operationalization of the vision, he needed him to appoint people into executive position. and these people are driving it. The governor can be commissioner across all the ministries.
Okay.
And so each of the ministries has something to do with ensuring that that general vision is activated. And I'm saying that we're not seeing the dividends, we're not seeing them coming out in it. The commissioners are representing us.
So in other
For
words,
God's sake, they're supposed, I am coming. The commissioners, as they are supposed to speak with the people.
Okay.
And so they're sitting back. Where is the strategic plan that they're driving on? If the governor, for instance, he says he's going to have what they call it, a mini power station, we expect to see that in the budget of the ministry that has activity to do that. Go and look at the budgets and see whether the budgets are speaking to the issues we're talking about.
So categorically, what are you saying? Are you saying they are not doing well?
When you're saying they're not doing well is subjective.
Okay.
They have the ability to do well, but they're not moving at the pace we expect them to move.
All right, that's interesting. They are not moving at the pace they expect them to move. If you're just joining us, this is Straight Talk, and I have here of Cross River State Finance, and they are here to analyze the happenings in the terrain, in the landscape of Cross River State, in the political landscape so far. All right, so let's hear from you. We've heard from McFarland. You know, McFarland always speaks from the standpoint of a public affairs analyst and from the standpoint of somebody, I don't know if he's a politician, but you are a co-politician. Let's hear your own thoughts. How far so far? All right, so are these people being honest with all of this endorsement, vote of confidence, and of course, all the rest matters going on so far?
Thank you so much. Well, first, when the governor came on board, or before he was elected, he presented to Cross Riverians his blueprints. He told Cross Riverians some core points he wishes to achieve. The areas of security, education, and all of that. It speaks for itself. At least dwellers in Calabar can attest to the fact that the ugly news about kidnapping is way gone. Before he came on board, he expressed some dissatisfaction with the urban roads. And today we do not have those potholes in Calabar. He promised Cross Riverians that he was going to handle the case of College of Education, Akampa. That's an institution where they used to have over 2,000 students. At some point, it reduced to 300.
Wow.
And the governor said during his campaign that he was going to turn that place to a university. As we speak currently, we now have a University of Education and Entrepreneurial Studies. Okay. They've admitted over 1,000 students. They've just advertised for IGMB, PGD, and all of those kind of programs there. So it is functional. Okay. He came on board where we lost some very sensitive assets of this state. You know, typical example is the Cross River Estate Limited. Before now, Cross River State, we were owing. Each time our allocation comes, it is deducted at source to AMCON. A typical example is the Tinapa Business Resort. The governor has cleared that, and Tinapa now fully belongs to Cross River State. The Cross River Estate Limited, in the last State Executive Council, Cross Riverians were informed that CREL, the governor, is making arrangements to do out of court, and CREL will now be a Cross River State asset. Okay. So this is a state where a lot of things, you know, were already privatized or sold, in quotes, but he's getting them back, because a state without assets will have a big problem. And that's one of the things that has been affecting Cross River State. Of course, we know that our state is such a sensitive state that has been dealt with in time past. The Bakassi issue is not being properly resolved. The governor is deep in to ensure that something is done. We lost 76 oil wells to our neighboring Akwa Ibom state. The governor is also working round the clock to ensure that Cross River State is re-enlisted as an oil-producing state. Well, I aligned with Dr. McFarland. He came up with people to assist. And let me use the opportunity to call on those in the State Executive Council who have been entrusted with portfolios to work. They should be up and doing. Okay. His Excellency cannot do everything by himself. Therefore, having looked at all of this, for the first time in history, 2 years, people are already endorsing a governor. It means that they are satisfied with the activities of the governor. And that's why they're coming this early to get him endorsed for a second term. Donald was the governor of this state from Southern Senatorial District. He did 8 years. I'm not saying that 8 years is an automatic thing, but he did 8 years because he did well in his first term, and the second term he was given another 4 years. Senator Leli Imoke did 8 years. And then our former governor, Professor Ben Ayade, did 8 years. And conventionally, that should also play out. And the party, the APC, is so satisfied with the activities of the governor. And that's why they're coming all out. And this is even going beyond. It looks to me that he's going to be the most lucky governor in our political history. Because the biggest opposition party, the PDP, yesterday we saw a chapter chairman who had resigned and is defecting to the APC. So you now see things playing out for him. Okay. And I know that the governor that I know will not take all of these things for granted. He's got lots of people, around him. So he has a big chest and he has the resources to take care of these politicians and ensure that our state move forward.
So I would like us to be very, very blunt as possible. Let's speak truth to power. We had a lot of people doing a lot of, giving a lot of accolades to the previous administration. We saw people hailing Governor Ben Ayade everywhere he went. And then some people at the point, felt that was just the politics of, the politics of ineffective crowd. And at the end of the day, we know what played out in Cross River North. In all the accolades he got, he still wasn't able to win Senate as a sitting governor. Now, my question to you now is, as a politician, all of this endorsement, all of this vote of confidence, are they being honest? Or they are just playing the politics of self-preservation for their own personal benefits? Well,
it will not take away the three human beings I call in the political circle. Okay. The doubting Thomas, the denying Peter, and the betraying Judah. They are all there. Okay. But if we look at the sincerity of most of these people, the governor is... He's one person from 1999. Yes, Senator Lelimoke was a core politician. He too is a core politician. Okay. So he should be able to know who is serious, who is telling lies and all of that. The case of our former governor who lost at the Senate, it wasn't just the fact that PDP were that strong in the North. Two things. The current senator had done so well. And then the governor was roundly betrayed by his friends in APC. Okay. That's the truth of the matter. Okay. And one of the things I keep saying is that our leaders should also look at the growing generation, the rising generation who are in the political cycle. Right. There are a lot of this older generation that are always there. And then they try to, lock their gates against the younger people. But we have a governor who knows that grassroots is important. Okay. And he will look beyond the older people. All right. Senator Lelimoke, of course, brought in younger people. I give it to him. He groomed leadership. Right. There are lots of people who benefited from him. But he was roundly betrayed right inside his own political party. Okay. And the current governor is somebody that has suffered politically before. And he would have learned from his lessons to do well even as a governor. And from what I'm seeing so far, he has learned his lesson, he's in charge, and he's going forward, moving very well. All right, so if you're just joining us, this is Straight Talk, proudly powered by Cross River Broadcasting Corporation. And we are looking at the political happenings in the Cross River State landscape, starting from the live stakeholders meeting of the All Progressive Congress to all the vote of confidence on all the endorsements. The landscape of Cross River has been agog for a very long time now, and people are beginning to start the politics of 2027. And I want to ask some pertinent questions, of course, to get the thoughts of my guests here on the panel on what they think about the current happenings in the landscape. All right, so let me come to you. We saw during the 2023 general elections, we saw a scenario where the current Minister of Trade and Investment wrote a personal letter to the then governor-elect, congratulating him and all of that. And then, okay, no, the wasn't governor, that was during the primaries, congratulated him, and it was a very, very honest approach. Everybody believed that he was very believable and all of that. And then, fast forward to the primaries, he began doing advocacy here and there, campaigning for the same position. Now, we've also seen during the last General Assembly of the APC, and then we saw where Senator Asoko Ekpenyo Jr. was the person that was nominated to move a motion endorsing Governor Bassey II and his deputy for 2027 general elections. How truthful is that? How honest is that? Do we see it play out that come 2027, Senator Asoko Ekpenyo will still come out and run the same election? Or is he being honest about this endorsement that he's truly not going for the governorship tickets?
Okay, I'm going to come to that, but let me just quickly take off from where Castro stopped because there's a connection with what I said before. Okay. Now, when you are talking about the visible things that His Excellency Senator Prince Batu Utu has done, if those who were supposed to put things in public space are doing what we're supposed to do, it's something you can compare to the first tenure of His Excellency Donald Duke. He had his second tenure on a platter of gold because everything he did in terms of development was clearly visible in the domain. People will believe what you do when they see it and hear it. Now, the endorsement that he's having now would have actually spilled beyond the political party thing. It would have been more like a people-centric endorsement, because there are so many things he has done that a lot of people do not know. Somebody was telling me you could drive from Tinapa now and bust at Akpab, Okoyo, and then find your way and go on there. Now, you go to the various headquarters of the security agencies here. You can see that they are neatly tied. So many things are done, but the public space is so empty, starved of information. How do people see it?
So whose fault is that?
Are there people not there to do the job? So these are the things. That's why I'm saying that he has the blueprints are there. His vision is
so
what we believe in.
Media aides are not doing their job.
Use your tongue and count your teeth. It's clear. So I just put it, we need to, everybody who is put into somewhere, you have ability to do it well. Open up the space and let some other people provide technical support for you to move on.
You're not saying the governor is not doing well. You're saying the people he has brought on board are not doing their bit.
Yes.
Okay.
They are not doing as much as we expect. Okay. They have offered themselves for service. Okay. Because there is no indication that resources are not released when they applied for.
Okay.
So what do you expect from him? Policy support, enabling environment, and he's providing. So we expect deliverables from you. And I'm saying that we should begin to develop key performance indicators to begin to assess them. However, as many as there are a few MDAs that have, showed themselves out that you can clearly see. You can see some level of visibility in the Ministry of Youth. You can see some, at least Calabar, in terms of cleanliness, is not as dirty as it used to be before. It has improved. So there's something you're seeing. With the Board of Internal Revenue, our internally generated revenue has moved on, so there's some level of increase. And the question is, what they're doing, we are not yet there. We can do much better. So if these few are doing this, let others begin to see it, and let's open up the space. Everybody can be a commissioner, everybody can be a political appointee, but we are all cross-variants, and so we need to contribute to it. So back to the one you talked about, the endorsement. Politics, we hear, that in pidgin they say, I hear say them say. That's usually what keeps causing problem. Okay. And when I'm doing my analysis and doing things, I don't rely on unsubstantiated information. It has been flying in the public domain that the senator of the Southern Senatorial District wants to become a governor. For me, as far as I'm concerned, it's a rumor. Okay. I think that any person who wants to contest for any elective position comes up to it and clearly tells his people. That not being done, I would like to stick to what is visible. Yes, as a senator from the Southern Senatorial District, there's no other person who would have been better positioned to have done the motion. That motion other than him. Okay. It comes from.
So we are talking about the sincerity of purpose.
Yes, okay. A man who don't have a clairvoyant spirit that we're able to see beyond what is being said. Okay. So we're taking him because everybody occupying public office and position is supposed to exude integrity and clearness in terms of what you're saying. So based on what he's saying and the office occupies, we want to believe him until we are proven otherwise. Okay. So I think that endorsement is, and it's going to be a political, plus for him. He's coming in there for the National Assembly. They are coming in and it's almost it's stemless. So I see him wanting to also go back into the National Assembly to continue from where he has stopped, maybe complete some other project because we believe in people going back there. But in terms of that endorsement, it's there. Now, my brother Castro talked about the three categories of people: doubting Thomas's, betraying Judas, and the third one, what do you call that person?
The lying Peter.
The lying Peter. So you have them within the political sphere. Okay. Now you see the people are defecting and moving, all that. There are three categories of people I want us to look at. You're looking at the politician who has the elective position and mandate of the people. You're looking at the political office holders. You're looking at the party members. All of these on one side, and judge the electorate on the other side. Now, the man who has been elected is representing people. It's a complete assault to our sensibilities for you to live in a political party on which you convince the people, ventilated your aspiration, and the people believed in you based on the ideologies of that party and elected you. and then you think you can just move out of the party without discussing with the people. It's an assault and insult to their sensibility. You hold a mandate for the people. So most of the defections that are moving now, it's not because really they want the defections. They've been waiting for opportunity. They've seen either that they cannot stand straight where they are, and they want to move into the bandwagon that they think is the ruling party. And I want to tell them, as you're defecting to the ruling party, there were people in that party holding the party. So don't think because you're defecting with your mandate to come in, automatically the people are going to give you. The party is being built by people. If you cannot build your party and you've defected, go and join the queue from the rear. Right. So that's the truth. So it's about personal interest, and they're moving in. If you look at it at the national, what justification does the governor of Delta State have to say he's defecting to the ruling party, telling me you want to socket to the national so that you can get things? Are you saying that the president is not providing for Delta State what he's supposed to provide? We should be able to separate. We should be able to
have the right to do so.
I'm not saying if you have the right to defect, but don't say that the reason you're defecting is because you want to get more benefit from the national. So you're putting the president on the box spot.
In your opinion, what should he have said?
Tell us why you're defecting and stop telling us things which are blatant lies. That's it. That's the core thing.
He just told you why he's defecting.
And I'm telling that what he's defecting does not make sense. If that's the reason why you elected him, we didn't need to elect him.
Okay, that's interesting. You know, when it comes to McFarland Eja, I love his vibes, I love his temperature, and I love the way he's vibrating. The topic is very simple. We are doing a practical analysis of what has been happening in the cross-university political landscape, and of course, the sincerity of purpose in all of this endorsement, vote of confidence, and of course, the motions everyone is moving, endorsing the Prince Bassey Ebedetu-led administration in Cross River State. The program remains Straight Talk, and we are here with McFarland Eja, who is a public affairs analyst, and of course, Honorable Castro Adoga Ezama, who is a political analyst. And we are looking at what is been playing out in the political landscape of Cross River State and all that has been going on. All right, so let's look at the girls of endorsement. We've seen a whole lot of defection. Principal officers have been defecting from the Labour Party, from the People Democratic Party, and all other parties, all to the ruling party. What is the honesty in that? You started by telling me that the governor who defected couldn't tell us the real reason behind his defection. Socketing to the center for him as a governor wouldn't have been the main priority for defection.
That's clear because, listen, when you're talking about election, there are three phases to it. When you're campaigning, when you're doing the election, and after election. The first two phases, you're talking about party. And once you win and you're sworn in, you're no longer talking about party. You're talking about the country and your constituency. The president talked about APC during primaries, election itself. When he was sworn in as president, he became president of Nigeria. And he was not denying anybody what is due you based on political party.
Okay, so let's come to you. Still on these defections, what's your thoughts?
Well, it's a common thing in Nigeria. It's very common. Aside President Tinubu currently, a vast majority of the people at the national have always crisscrossed. Senator Fabio and the rest. I remember when APC came on board, how they abused APC, including the Honorable Minister for the FCT. Today they are beneficiaries and they are working for the APC. It is looking very clear that President Tinubu will be doing a second term. And he wants to ensure that he gets the South blocked for himself, and then see how they can penetrate northern Nigeria. So that's what they are doing. And there has never been a time where governors enjoyed from a president like now. Okay, so he gives them freely. Again, let's bring up PDP and the Labour Party at the national level. They're having crisis. Okay. And you don't expect the people down here to keep up there. The Labour Party, they have different ESCO. There was a Supreme Court ruling throwing out Julius Aburi. And Julius Aburi is still holding fast to the party. There's about 3 national chairmen in the Labour Party. And when the root of a tree is there, you don't expect the branches to be alive. Okay. And every other person will want to survive politically and will want to go to where they have the structures intact. Right. Therefore, in Cross River State, which I'm narrowing down, you see this defection into the APC. In Cross River State, we have 1 state APC chairman. So. We don't have 2. We don't have factions. Now, that's why they are defecting. And I think also that by 2027, some of these people who are defecting will also want to run election.
So they are defecting for
well, personal interest is there in politics. That's what I see. We are not there yet. Okay. And that's why I keep saying that our politics, we need to bring about hygiene. Okay. For instance, Most of the people that benefited from the Labour Party got that through the tsunami of Peter Obi.
Of course,
Remember that
the
Peter Obi won a cross river, won Lagos, won lots of states.
Sure.
Today, they are ensuring that he does not have that space to roam within the Labour Party. And those that were with him in the Labour Party are betraying him roundly. In the PDP, same thing is happening. I said this clear, that the FCT minister is there to bury the PDP. And I think that's his major role. He was dealt with and he didn't feel happy about it. And he's been given a platform by the current administration. So he's there to ensure that the PDP is brought to the ground floor.
Okay.
And I see him achieving that. But for me, I pray and hope that there is a healthy opposition so that those who are in leadership can stand and work. We cannot do a one-party system. As a politician, I'm against that.
I have a very pertinent question to ask you. With all of these defections here and there, are we saying that there would be formidable opposition moving into 2027? Does that mean that APC will not have the free hand to do whatever they want in Nigeria?
Well, the biggest opposition is inside the APC.
Oh, really?
Yes, you can't throw that away. When the time is ripe, we will see it.
So
there are factions inside the APC.
Okay.
Why everywhere is calm is because we are yet to do what congresses, which will come up, I'm sure, later this year. There will be chapter congresses, there will be the national convention and all of that.
Okay,
now, when some of these politicians don't get what they anticipate to get in the long run, they will begin to break out to some of these political parties. Okay. That's when we begin to see opposition. It has always been like that.
And we can't continue like that. We're having that kind of prostitution. That's political prostitution.
Alhaji Atiku Abubakar made a statement. Okay. They are talking about the coalition. That for me isn't necessary. But how well have they structured the opposition into 2027? Remember, when you are elected, you have just 2 years for correct administration. Okay. The third year, you are going into primaries. The next year is election.
Okay, so we need to go, but then I want to get your thoughts briefly on this. Does this mean that in 2027, you can say that there is no party democracy in the APC? If the biggest opposition is within the APC, is there no internal party democracy?
No, I wouldn't want. Yeah, Castro has a point in what he's saying, because those who are coming in for personal interest and they want to juggle. So you're having those who have kept the party alive for them to come into wanting to say, no, you cannot come into take it. And that's why I said those who have defected go and take you from the rear. That's the truth about it, and that's where that issue will come up. Now, the other thing we want to talk about is that it will be a big mistake politically to think that there's not going to be an opposition. Right now, as everybody is moving inside there, the various political parties are trying to lick their wounds and pick bits and pieces together. And of course, coalitions are going to be born. Yes, Atiku is coming up to push for the coalition. One thing I want to say clearly now, Atiku should, in terms of his political aspirations, we are talking about there's an unwritten gentleman's agreement, which it is zoned to larger geopolitical zone in terms of presidency coming to the south. That it is zoned that we have a clear understanding that the south has to do 2 terms. Atiku shouldn't be thinking of president, coming for presidential election in 2027. Yeah. If he's putting up any coalition, let him provide whatever support he needs to, because all of them need to do some image laundering. So as far as I'm concerned, we're looking at it here. There is no justification for people beginning to move. We know that crisscrossing is happening. If you're saying your party has crisis like Castro has mentioned in the PDP, why don't you stay in and fix it and stop chickening out? You're waiting, you move to the next area, there will be problem.
Before we go, comment briefly on the internal party democracy in the APC. What's your thoughts?
No, it will be difficult for you to say I should comment on internal democracy, party democracy in APC. All the political parties, the difference between them is the name and the logo that they bear. Our Nigerian political parties do not have internal democracy. They are simply business enterprises of people who have money to take them into the pocket. So we pays the piper, dictates the tune. So why are you talking about democracy?
So there's none. All right, so please, the last word to the people of
I wish His Excellency Senator Prince Bassett Otu the best. Mariam Market, Etemeden Park, the Ogoja Market, there is no APC there is no PDP. Let's do well, move our state forward. President Tinubu, Nigerians are hungry. Let's do the best and take ourselves out of the current situation. I believe that Nigeria will do well. May God bless this country, and may God bless Cross River.
Thank you very much. So your last word to the people of Cross River, Nigeria.
Nigeria is our country. Cross River is our country. We'll always own it. Let's make the best out of it. There is no other country no other nation, no other place which is better than your village, your state, and your country. So Nigeria is ours. Let's sit back, fix it, and make it work.
All right, so this is Straight Talk, and this program will let you know everything happening in our landscape. We said everything we have to say. We speak truth of power unapologetically. On this program, we do not discuss individuals, we discuss issues. We tackle topical issues and we try to bring solutions to them. All right, we did talk about recommendations on this edition. We are going to bring back McFarlane and of course Castro to come back for us to do a part 2 of this production. We need to know what is playing out. We need to know how honest our politicians have been or how honest are they. And of course, what are we supposed to do as Crossivarians? How do we get keep at the national to ensure that we bring the dividends of democracy back home for the people of Cross River State? There's a whole lot to talk about, and I'm super excited to be the one anchoring this program to bring you everything you need to know and to also give you a buy-in at the people of Cross River State. Keep putting your best foot forward everywhere you go. My name is Akpala, and this is Straight Talk. Bye-bye.